Hello and welcome to the second part of the Flashback Bundle. In this video we're going to be looking at the Justiciar. At the time of recording we have just got new shields added into the Dilithium store, which is great news, but it also means I had to redo this series of videos. So there might be one or two things that might seem out of sequence as we go through. So I'll be looking at the Vanity shields available from the Dilithium store during certain events of the year, and also from the Zen store. As you can see, I've had to update the shield icons to account for all the new shields. As I said in the first part of this series, the Cyclone, whilst recording this, there is a bug that's bound the new shields to the character rather than account, so I'm not able to test to see if they have any different appearances on Klingon aligned characters. So these are all done on Federation aligned. And as always, in the description below we have the chapters detailing all the different Vanity shields and other links that I'll go over at the end of the video. Let's move on to the first shield. So the first shield we'll be having a look at is the Alliance Vanity shield. This is part of the Kitman Alliance bundle in the Zen store. It's currently the only shield available in the Zen store as well. In that bundle you get the shield, the Kitman Alliance uniform and an upgrade. For the shield itself we've got the white hull material. We have some grey and gold shading. With this cyan effect around the deflector here. At the rear for the impulse engines it's red through orange, yellow and white and then back again. You can see some more of that grey shading there and some more of that gold shading. Now as we look at the nacelles, due to this having this animation effect, you will see this doesn't actually change colour, so this will remain this orange throughout all the shields we'll look at. And the nacelles themselves on the Justiciar don't have any lighting effects to them, as we've seen on other ships. So as we take a look down, we can see that grey shading there. Got a touch more of the gold shading. And we also have this red piping as well. As you can see, it goes over the top of the delta there. We also have the running lights there, flashing away quite happily. Now as we look at the underside, again, some more of the gold shading there, and some more of the grey on the white hull and the red piping. So here we have one of the recent additions to the Dilithium store. This is a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity shield. So let's have a look. We have a grey hull with a pattern effect to it that we'll see a bit better when we look down the top of the ship. We have this yellowish colour here for the deflector. We've still got some green shading though. And we've got the gold impulse engines there. And then we can see that pattern effect on the hull. So it does put me in mind of a urban style army camouflage. Just with the shapes there on the darker grey sections and the pattern layout of it. The one thing about this ship is because we don't have the facade collector or nacelle colourings, there's not really too much else to talk about, apart from the pattern effects on the hull and the impulse and sometimes the deflector array. The upside is it will actually cut down my talking in the video, I suppose. So the next shield we're taking a look at is the Baul Vanity shield from the Dilithium store. This is a very popular shield in the game. We've got this black hull material. That's dull cyan lighting there for the deflector. Got the lovely red impulse engines there. Again, retaining that orange there of the Bizarre collector. Touch more of that cyan lighting there as well. And then as we look down, we can see this etched pattern on the hull material. Still got the running lights flashing away there. And then the red Starfleet stripe there stands out lovely against this dark hull material. Then let's look at the underside. So again, touch more of the cyan lighting there. And more of that etched pattern as well. Next up, we're looking at the Borg Vanity shield. So this shield gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel, not an assimilated one. So we've got this grey hull material with this pattern effect of various shapes and sizes of hull plates. You can see the blue there on the deflector. You can see this almost black material with this blue lighting. So that's a conduit effect material there. And the lighting as well is designed to give the look of exposed areas of the hull. You see this blue effect here on the impulse engines. Seeing a better view of that pattern effect with the various shapes and sizes of the hull plates there. And again, as we look down the top, we've seen that full view of that pattern effect. We've still got the running lights there. Now, as we look at the underside, there's that conduit effect material there with the blue lighting and this gold lighting as well. Here's another one of the recent additions to the Dilithium store, and this is the Courier Raider Vanity Shield. Now this is quite a bright shield because it is almost white, so you might get a slight beacon of Kayla's effect as we rotate through, but we'll see how it goes. So we've got this very light grey hull with a slightly darker shading as well. We have the white here for the deflector, although we've still got the blue lighting effect on it. We have the white there on the impulse engines, this nice dark grey section at the back here. You can see it is looking a bit bright at the moment. Hopefully it won't be too bad when we spin to the top of the ship. So you've got some more of that dark grey, almost black shading here on the nacelle. Just looking through the cover for the Bizarre collector there, you can make that out as supposedly trying to be white as well. I do wish on these ships that have this kind of nacelle effect that it would actually change the glass, if you like, of the animation effect to match that of the shield. It would be good. As we rotate through, so yeah, we've got a couple of nice bits of shading and pattern work within the hull material. A bit of the darker shading there at the back as well. Got the black there for the phaser strips. Same here on the underside, and it's got a bit of red effect here as well. I noticed as we're rotating through. Yeah, so not a bad shield at all, that one. Quite like that. Here we have the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this shield has two different visual appearances depending if you're Federation aligned or Klingon aligned. We're going to take a look at Federation aligned first. So this shield is designed to give your vessels a look of Starfleet vessels in Season 1 of Discovery. We've got a two-tone grey for the hull material with a bit of a pattern effect. This blue here for the deflector. Got a red honeycomb pattern there on the impulse engines. Touch of this white and blue lighting effect here and here. Now this light changed to the running lights. It's changed from green to blue and they no longer flash. Then you can see the different shades to the hull material and then this pattern effect here on the lighter grey section. And with the same here on the underside. Here we have the Discovery Vanity shield on a Klingon aligned character. So we have this brown patterned hull material. It's also patterned out the deflector array here. Then we have this yellow and white patterned effect here for the impulse engines. Then we see that full pattern effect to the rest of the hull. Then you can see the full extent of the pattern as we look down in the ship. And with the same there on the underside. Another one of the recent additions is the Discovery Refit Vanity shield. Now, at the time of recording, there is an issue where the new shields in the Dilithium store have been account bound. So normally account bound, but have actually ended up being character bound. So I'm unable to test this on a Klingon line character to see if there's a different visual effect like the other Discovery shield has. But once that issue is resolved, I shall test it. And if there is a visual difference, I'll throw up a video covering the recent ships that I've done with the shield and show you the different visuals. So for this one, we've got, again, two-tone grey hull material. We've got the white deflector there, and it's got a faint touch of blue through it as well. Got the red impulse engines again. And the hull material does vaguely put me in mind of the Sovereign material that you get on the ship. It's not quite the same, but it's very similar. I do quite like using that material if I'm not using a Vanity shield. Well, as you can see here, it's quite smooth. It's got a nice bit of pattern detail to it as well. I think for ship models such as this one that's got the animation effect on the nacelles and even the sail itself's covered up, I would probably pick this one over the normal Discovery shield. So another recent addition to the Dilithium store. I'm just going to call this one the Emerald Chain Vanity Shield. The full name is up on the screen. Because the amount of videos I do, they really should just have shortened that to Emerald Chain. So we have this grey hull material. This very light yellow deflector effect here. And a touch of the blue shading still at the front here. Got the light yellow there for the impulse engines. Then we see the bit of pattern effect in the shading there. It's very similar to a Safe Galaxy one. Also got a wee bit more of that yellow lighting here. And there as well. Let's look down. I say it's got quite nice shading to it. It's got a nice pattern effect within the material as well. Yeah, it's quite a nice shield that I like, and it's also got this textured pattern here also. And a wee bit more of that yellow illumination there at the front. Next up we are looking at the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So you see this light yellow around the deflected area here. This grey and a purple shading for the hull material. You might be able to make out the blue illuminated dots along here. These are throughout the hull material to give a starfield kind of effect. Then we have the cyan lighting effect there for the impulse engines. Again, there's some more of those blue illuminated dots there on the nacelles. And again, you can see them along here. And look down, we can see some of that purple shading, and then the grey hull material, some of this yellow lighting, and a lot more of this blue illuminated dot effect as well. And the same here on the underside. And here we have the Ferengi Vanity Shield. So we have the orange hull material that we see on the Ferengi vessels in TV shows. Got this light yellow deflector array here. See some of this gold shading as well on the hull, and touches of grey there as well. Got the darker yellow there for the impulse engines. Again, some more touches of grey and the gold shading there as well. And as we look down, we can see the pattern effect to the orange hull material there. Then more touches of gold shading and an occasional bit of grey there as well. And let's look at the underside. You might be able to make out this rivet pattern detail here. Also some back here on the pylons as well. More of the gold shading also, and other touches of grey there as well. Here we have the Hur'q Vanity Shield. We've got this green hull material with this purple shading. This green pattern design here for the deflector. The green pattern effect there for the impulse engines. And you see some of this black shading here, giving this pattern effect to the hull material. Then let's look down, we've got some more of that black shading, giving the pattern effect there. Start to see some of this illuminated material here. Then on the underside, we've got quite a bit more of this purple shading, a lot more of this illuminated green pattern design here on the hull material, and more of that black shading giving the pattern effect as well. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. So similar to the Discovery one, it does have two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So the Federation aligned gets a look of Starfleet vessels from the reboot films. So we can see the light blue effect there with this white shading as well on the deflector. Have the orange pattern there for the impulse engines. Now thankfully we don't have to suffer the awful Bassard collector effect of this shield due to the animation effect on the Bassard collectors. Let's look down, we can see the different shades of grey there with the pattern effect throughout it. And the same here on the underside. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield on a Klingon line character. So we see some different shades of green here for the hull material. Unfortunately the normal red deflector effect's been greened out here with the hull material. The nice red honeycomb impulse engines there. See some touches of this yellow illumination here. As we look down, we can see the various shades of green on the hull material. Some more of that yellow lighting effect there. And with the same here on the underside, with some touches of grey shading in the hull material as well. So here's another one of the recent additions. This is the Prodigy. It's not easy for me to say, trust me. Vanity Shield. Now, we've got this blue and white effect here on the deflector. This nice grey hull material. The red there on the impulse engines. And a slight bit of pattern to the material as well. It's quite a nice shade of grey on this one. The red lines do stand out quite nicely against it. There are a couple of spots of black shading there as well, which really make those red lines pop. And a bit more of the detail there in the pattern effects. There, another nice shield. Next up, it's another popular shield in the game, the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So this two-tone hull material here with the dark and slightly lighter shading. The cyan effect there on the deflector with this striped effect here at the back of it. Normally the Bassard collectors would be blacked out on this shield. A very vibrant red there for the impulse engines. And you see some more of the striped material effect here as well. get a better view there of the different shades for the hull material. Touch more of the cyan lighting. Even the running lights have went to cyan and stopped flashing. And the same here on the underside, and a bit more of that striped material effect there as well. So another one that's just recently been added to the Dilithium store, also the last one that's just been added to the Dilithium store, is the Shrike Vanity Shield. So we have the orange deflector there. We've got this reddish hull material and almost burgundy shading there as well. Got the orange and red effect there for the impulse engines. And then we can see that darker shading here. And we can see the darker shading in full, following the lines of the ship. Got a touch of grey material here on the underside. Here we have the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield. So it's quite a busy shield, this one. For the hull material we have green, grey and this black shading. Then we also have all this illuminated panel effect as well. We have white there for the deflector array. We've got white here for the impulse engines, and then you see this lit panel effect here pulsating away. And it does so at various points on the ship. So you can see the carved pattern effect to the hull material as well. Yeah, more of that pulsating effect with the panel lighting there. Let's look down, touches of the black shading there, the grey and the green with the carved effect to it. And more of that pulsating light effect there as well. And with the same here on the underside. And we come to the final shield available in the Dilithium store, and this is the Zhat Vash Vanity Shield. So we have an olive green and sandy brown hull material. This vibrant green deflector array here. The vibrant red for the impulse engines. Then you can see the pattern effect there for the two-tone of the hull material. With these colours, it always puts me in mind of an army camouflage. There's a better view of the pattern with those colours. The same there on the underside. And that concludes the look at the Justiciar. Bit of a shorter video, as didn't have to continually comment on the changes to themselves because they didn't really change. So you managed to cut down on the amount of me talking in the video. I'm sure that pleased quite a few of you. In the description below, I have my links for any tips that you wish to provide. All the monies go into the channel and STO. So whether it be buying new hardware for doing the videos, buying in-game content to do the content for the channel, Also have my social media links there and my Real Merch affiliate link, which will get you 10% off your order. Then there is the STO wiki, so good resource for information on the game. And the main Star Trek Online news blog is there as well. And for more content, make sure you check out Casual Sab, Nick NB and MC Stu. I have their YouTube and Twitch channels linked below. They have a vast variety of content from builds, reviews, news, live streams, Q&As. The guys are very entertaining, extremely helpful and very knowledgeable, so make sure you check them out. And until the next video or the next live stream, thank you very much for watching.